Irish guy, and what is the point? What is the point of this Champions League final? I almost feel like sitting down to watch it, the outcome is so inevitable. Those poor old Inter Milan fans sitting down to watch this match and hoping that they win. It's been like sitting down to watch a Saw film and naively hoping that you don't see any blood. Lads, this is going to be the most one-sided Champions League final that I will ever watch in my entire life. And I know that sounds like such a stupid thing to say. I realize that I sound like I've got the brains of Mr. Potato Head. But come on, do you think this will actually be a challenge for Pep Guardiola? The man is licking his lips because Inter Milan gave him one of the most painful moments of his life. Go back to April 2010 and Barcelona, the best team on planet Earth, couldn't get past Jose Mourinho's Inter. I mean, considering the previous summer, Guardiola had swapped Samuel Eto'o for Zlatan Ibrahimovic, then watching the Cameroonian bounce around that pitch in Inter colours, it probably felt like he'd just been force-fed a plate of his nan's feet. But that was an incredible, resilient Inter Milan team, coached by one of the greatest managers of all time. But this version of Inter Milan is about as intimidating as a pig's belly button. I'm sorry, I know that I'm probably gonna have angry Italians watching this video and wanting to drown me in a public bin filled with cauliflower soup, but come on, even you must be terrified of this Champions League final. It's widely accepted that Serie A is not what it once was. Not anything close. I mean, lads, this is the first time an Italian team has reached the final in 6 years, and yet this Inter team have lost 12 times in the league this season. Lads, it was only 2 months ago. Simone Inzaghi was practically on the verge of the sack, or at least he should have been, because I'm sorry, 1 point from 5 games is beyond pathetic. I know they then recovered to go and win 5 in a row, and the end of the season with 7 wins for the last 8 games to rescue the top 4. I know they also won the Coppa Italia last month and knocked their neighbours out of the Champions League. I know they're in a good vein of form, but still, putting them next to Guardiola City, they'll very quickly look like a doggy bag filled with shampoo. Let's be real, the Champions League final has lost a bit of its magic lately, because if it weren't for Divock Origi scoring a late goal against Tottenham in Madrid, then the last 4 Champions League finals would have just been dour 1-0 wins. Since when did club football's biggest game become such a tense, scrappy drag of a match? Real Madrid squeaking a 1-0 win over Liverpool. I mean, it was tense, sure, but in terms of pure entertainment value, it was a bit like watching 2 old women playing chess. Similarly, in 2021, Man City were beaten 1-0 by Chelsea in a game where Guardiola decided to be a bit too clever.
Oh, let's play the most important game of my Manchester City career with no defensive midfielder.
It was about as sensible as choosing to lick the underside of a bus driver's shoe. And the year before, Bayern Munich beating PSG 1-0 with Kingsley Coman scoring against his former club. I mean, sure, it was probably football poetry, considering he was a PSG Academy product and had been chucked in the bin in favour of fancy superstars. But still, can anyone really remember this match? It was just some horrible lockdown game played out in front of an empty stadium where it was so quiet you could actually hear Neymar cough. He sounds a bit like an asthmatic sheep. So many dull 1-0 wins. It's like in the 1980s. I mean, in 1978, Liverpool beat Club Brugge 1-0. In 1979, Nottingham Forest beat Malmo 1-0. In 1980, Nottingham Forest beat Hamburg 1-0. In 1981, Liverpool beat Real Madrid 1-0. In 1982, Aston Villa beat Bayern Munich 1-0. In 1983, Hamburg beat Juventus 1-0. That is 6 years in a row of 1-0 wins. I'm relieved that back then, I wasn't so much as a speck of dust in my dad's nutsack, because sitting down to repeatedly put yourself through those matches would be about as much fun as letting a badger bite off my nose. I mean, it gets worse. In 1984, it was Liverpool 1, Roma 1, and then it was back to Juventus beating Liverpool 1-0 in 1985. In 1986, it was a Steaua Bucharest 0, Barcelona 0, but in 1988, another 0-0 between PSV and Benfica. Across 11 consecutive seasons, there were 12 goals scored in Champions League finals. Doesn't that just make you wildly vomit out your nose? Between 1978 and 1998, there were 12 dour 1-0 wins and 3 goalless draws. Just do we really want to go back to that? I mean, lads, the last truly great Champions League final was 2018, when Loris Karius chose to sacrifice his own dignity and career just so we'd have something interesting to watch. But whatever about these recent finals having been dull, I've never ever seen a mismatch. Lads, I know Real Madrid beat Juventus 4-1 in 2017, but I'm sorry, that was 1-1 with half an hour left. I have never ever seen a team truly thumped in the Champions League final. I know Man United were eaten for breakfast by Barcelona in both 2009 and 2011, but to their credit, they only lost by 2 goals both times. The last time a team won a Champions League final by 3 goals was in the year 2000, when Real Madrid used Valencia as a dog's chew toy, but even then, there was only 1 goal in it with 25 minutes left. I mean, lad, what happened to Valencia's manager? Does anybody know who Hector Cooper is? No, he's not that wheelchair potato of Breaking Bad. He was a young, promising Argentinian coach who lost 2 Champions League finals in a row, then went to Inter Milan, took them to a Champions League semi-final, and then What? Just sailed off into the sunset like Keira Knightley's career? Ah, it was such an unnecessary dig. Sorry, I watched Pirates of the Caribbean last night, but he went on to manage Real Betis, Parma, Georgia, Aris Thessaloniki, Racing Santander, Urdu Sport, Al Wasl, Egypt, Uzbekistan, Dr. Congo, and now Syria? How did his career take such a hit? Did I miss something? Was there some point around 2009 when he announced that he liked to steal babies from hospitals? Was he exposed for trying to impregnate gingerbread men? Like, what happened, Cooper? But AC Milan thrashed Barcelona by 4-0 in 1994. That was the last true Champions League final massacre. But that was so long ago that Ronald Koeman was playing centre back. Now he just looks like a bloated toad who probably forces his grandchildren to feed him cookies in the sun. So do you see what I'm saying? Champions League finals don't end in humiliations. They just don't. But they will now, I'm telling you. Manchester City are going to absolutely embarrass Inter. People are telling you that this will be a potential banana skin. That this is a defensive, resolute Italian outfit who'll do everything in their power to trip Pep up. No, I'm gonna tell you this. It will be the biggest whitewash in European Cup final history. No team has ever won a European Cup final by more than 4 goals ever. Not even Real Madrid when it took 7 past Eintracht Frankfurt in 1960. But now, I'm gonna call it Manchester City 5, Inter Milan 0. I mean, is anyone really going to enjoy watching this? It's supposed to be the showpiece pinnacle match in club sport. And Inter are going to put up about as much fight as a crippled penguin trying to dance. Look, what Inter have done in recent weeks is finally gotten Romelu Lukaku fired. Because Christ love, if Inzaghi was lining up with a 37-year-old Edin Dzeko up front to play against the club who binned him off 7 years ago, would anyone really have that much confidence? I know he's done well in Italy. Christ love, that season he scored 39 goals for Roma. Was City beyond belief? But he is old, and to be fair, nobody seems to have noticed, but Lukaku has been unbelievable in the spring. The narrative was that since his loan return to Inter, he was a complete embarrassment. Injuries, a lack of self-confidence, and yeah, he only scored 3 league goals by the 10th of March. But in his last 7 Serie A matches, 7 goals and 4 assists, that's pretty good. But it won't be enough. This entire Manchester City robot is an absolute winning machine. They're going to dominate possession with about 80% of the ball, and Inter are going to be destroyed. I'm convinced of it. I'm sorry, Inter, but you're not ready for this stage. It was only 2 years ago your left wing back was nearly 40-year-old Ashley Young. This is a club who made it a habit, a transfer policy of just buying aging stars who are past their best. I'm sorry, I can't see any way that you're getting anything from this match. No way, nothing. They're going to be absolutely ripped apart. Erling Haaland's going to bang in a hat-trick. It'll be 4-0 at half-time, and it'll all just be so embarrassing. I mean, lads, Arsenal are a better team than Inter Milan, and they were thumped 4-1 by Man City. I even think Man United are a better team than Inter Milan. Man City stuck 6 past them. The only reason this will not be 6 or 7 is because Guardiola is going to ease his players off. He's going to call off his dogs and play the last 25 minutes with Rico Lewis, Cole Palmer, and even Calvin Phillips on the pitch. Man City fans are going to be screaming ole after just 30 minutes in Istanbul. I mean, lads, this is a stadium where Liverpool took on a great Milan giant and one of the greatest Champions League spectacles of all time. But this is going to be so embarrassing for the Inter fans, and honestly, all of you sitting down to watch this, you're just going to have second-hand embarrassment for the Italians. Honestly, I give them absolutely zero chance. Inter are going to be lining up with a back 3 with Matteo Darmian playing centre back. Remember that former Man United fullback who is spit out of Old Trafford as if he was just a melted Freddo? Do Inter think they're really going to lay a glove on City with Henrik Mkhitaryan in the centre of the park? Yeah, Arsenal and Man United fans will remember him and quickly feel like puking out their nose. I don't think Simone Inzaghi's management career is actually going to recover from this, because how can you look yourself in the mirror every day when out of every single European Cup final in history, then your effort is officially written in stone as being the absolute worst? I'm sorry, Inter fans, but my advice, if you've got tickets to Turkey, just feed them to your dog and spend Saturday night watching Ugly Betty with your mum, because Manchester City are going to absolutely obliterate your team. Honestly, I'll make a deal. If Inter Milan win the Champions League on Saturday, then I will do an entire video dressed in a bin bag standing outside Aldi. Yeah, they're probably going to call the police. Anyway, that's the video. Let me know what do you think, or let me know in the comments how do you think the Champions League final is going to go. Let me know if you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to give a like, share, comment as always. I'll talk to you in a while.